Hey, folks, it's Mark Arum. I hope you're enjoying the Mark Arum Show podcast. A reminder, you can hear this very radio show live Monday through Friday. We're live 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All right, everybody settle down, calm down. Who's losing their mind on a Friday? Relax, deep breath, calm down. The weekend is here. Got to relax. We got to chill, Deborah Green. Chill. Mark Arum with you and pals, Low T Longo and Deb Green and myself with you till 8 p.m. Big second hour of the show. Jay Black is going to join us to break down tomorrow's big Georgia-Notre Dame game. We got Brittany from Accessatl, a couple of funny comedians in town, including one from Kennesaw, who went out to L.A. and became a major success. We'll talk to them in the second hour of the show. First up, so my headphones yesterday broke on the air, Chuck.
I know.
And I thought we thought last night, Deb Green, that they could have been saved. Right, we thought maybe...
There was some back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, there were some people, you can save those things. So I showed them to Alan Hunt this morning, and he picked them up and automatically was like, threw them into the trash can. And brought me a new set. He goes, you can't fix these. It's not worth it. You can't fix these. So anyway, these are headphones that I've worn for over a decade. I think 14 years. In my 22 years here, I've only had two sets of headphones. One was stolen, and then this last set broke. So he threw it in an empty garbage can. I thought for a second, because as soon as this happened on the air yesterday, my headphones broke, and we're going to, toss them. People on Facebook and Twitter are like, hey, I'll take them, blah, blah, blah. So I had an idea this morning, and it's...
Is this why you were texting me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is an idea, actually, normally my ideas don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But this idea, I actually did something with it. So these are historic headphones. I wore these headphones the night Barack Obama was elected president, the night Donald Trump was elected president, when I was on the air and called the race for those two presidencies. I wore them during Snowmageddon, during the Great Flood. The bridge collapse. Yeah. Good job. I wore these 2 years ago when you guys ate gefilte fish on the air. I mean, there's a lot of history behind these headphones. Yeah. When we discovered Cascajones for the first time. Oh. So these are the official Mark Arum headphones for the last, 14 years. So this morning, I got a silver Sharpie. I signed them. I got Scott Slade to sign them. I got Eric Von Hessler to sign them. And Clark Howard and Eric Erickson are going to sign them. Yep. And I've posted it on eBay for sale. And I was going to do it for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta for charity, but eBay has only like 7 charities they allow you to sell for. I couldn't, I just can't figure it out.
You can sell them for yourself and then just give them money.
So, but I decided the Humane Society, because we all love animals here on the Mark Arum Show. Yep. So the eBay listing is active. I'll tweet a link out as soon as I can figure out how to tweet a link out. But yeah, if you want those historic headphones signed by, let's get things first. Scott Slade and Clark Howard, Eric Erickson, Eric Von Hessler, and me.
Yep.
They're there, and maybe they might be fixable. I don't know. I think Alan Hunt was just a little lazy. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
so anyway.
More likely.
All the money raised for this auction will be donated to the Humane Society. So we're turning lemonade into lemons. Blank into Shinola? I don't know what the prepper...
I think it's lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, lemons into lemonade.
I don't think it's the other way around.
You can't turn lemonade into lemons?
No.
That'd be the other way around.
You're a magician.
Let me ask you guys a question. All three of you guys and gals, you're all married. Is there one thing that you and your spouses consistently fight about? Like if you had to list the top 3 things of, all right, these are the top 3 things we fight about the most. Is there anything that you can think of, Longoria? I mean, not like brawls, but like, little squabbles. What do you guys...
Maybe the kids?
Like, are they yours? That kind of fight?
No. I guess just like, like what to do with them, like raising them and punishing them. Punishing them.
All right, so punishing children. Yeah. Chuck, you and your hot neighbor wife, what are some of the things you guys always argue about?
What to have for dinner. I'm not kidding.
I'm not having elk steak again, Chuck.
Yeah.
That basically is how it goes?
Most things are a discussion, like high-level things.
Yeah.
But it's the what do you want to do tonight that sometimes turns into, arguments.
Yeah, but not serious.
No.
Did you guys ever have serious arguments?
Never once.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah. Deb Green, producer of the Mark Arum Show, and her now American husband. He was illegal until about 6 days ago.
Now he's boring and ordinary.
now, you've totally lost interest.
I know, right?
He's not
Thank God
British
he still
anymore.
plays guitar.
He's not British, so Deb's like, English Nick's looking sexy. What do you guys squabble about, fight about?
We don't really fight, but yeah, food is a big thing because I'm never hungry. And
Yes, we know.
And he obviously has a more diverse palate than me growing up in Europe.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know how to cook a lot of that stuff, but I'll try. But I imagine it's terrible because I don't eat it.
Yeah.
So, and he's just
food.
Yeah, where to go and what to eat, and that's probably the biggest one we.
My girlfriend and Maya and I, we don't fight. Well, let me put it this way: I don't fight with her. I often do a lot of things wrong. She never does anything wrong, which is what I found in dating for almost 2 years.
Is that coming from you or from her?
Oh, that's for me.
That's coming out of self-preservation.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. I was mad at her one time in our relationship, and it was around food. We got into a little. I obviously said something right before the dessert portion of dinner at some restaurant. And I was like, I don't even remember what I said, but I was like, what do you want to do? You want to get the Bananas Foster or the Cherries Jubilee? Like, it was a fancy restaurant where they light desserts on fire. And she's like, I don't care. I was like, oh, I'll get a cheesecake to go. like that's the only serious fight we had. But it's funny, food, yeah. Like, what do you want for dinner? You pick, I pick, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like, so anyway, the reason I bring this up is Deb Green found this website for couples to settle your arguments. And it's like an independent arbiter.
So it's like a third party.
Yes, exactly right. So it's called Let's Settle This. Effectively takes the fight right out of your hands. Apparently, a big thing between couples nowadays is fighting over Netflix. So apparently, Deb Green, so how does this website work exactly, Deb Green? You go online, you go to this website, and I guess you present your cases. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you type in your argument basically, and a bunch of other people that are on there are going to take sides. And
so it's like a group vote.
Yeah, and so loser probably just makes another argument, but that's kind of what it is. Yeah,
I assumed there was like some like Judge Wapner sitting at a computer going, all right, let's see what's going on with the Longorias today. But it's like you vote. A group takes a jury.
Yeah, and just ruin someone else's life.
Would you do that to settle an argument? Would you let unknown people?
Oh no, I don't want anybody knowing my business.
I think it'd be fun. Like not like a real argument, but like, what movie should we watch today? Longoria wants to watch La Bamba again, and his wife wants to watch Pretty in Pink. And then you go, I think it'd be a fun little exercise to see.
Yeah, it could be.
And that way,
depends on the fight, I guess.
And you just say, listen, whatever the internet decides is what we're going to do.
Yeah, well, that's what the man would probably say. I'm pretty sure my wife would be like, oh, I don't agree with that person. And then you start the argument all over.
Yeah, there's no chance hot neighbors listen to some random on the internet.
If she's not listening to her
especially if it doesn't go her way.
Yeah.
Do you want us to submit the question to the website?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I can submit it.
All right, let's do this. Let me think about a good question.
Okay.
And then we'll submit it. But I want to know, just in general, what's the most active thing that you and your significant other fight about? Is there one thing that is just like always you're fighting about? Is it Netflix? Is it food? Is it the kids? How to punish the kids? Yep. That was a big one with my parents. I remember as a kid them fighting, and it was mostly about me, like how to punish me. Because my dad was like you, I'm sure, softy, like just not the disciplinarian. And my mom was, the person that laid down the hammer. I've often talked about how she used to beat me with a metal ice cream scooper.
I'm sure she likes that story.
Which is why she denies it.
Yeah, of course.
Which is why to this day I have a weird attraction to ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like just getting beat by ice cream, by a metal ice cream scooper. But they used to fight all the time about my dad not disciplining me enough. Like spank him, ground him. And my mom, that was the thing. So I could see that definitely in am I reading the relationship right?
Yeah. I mean, we try not to do it in front of the kids,
Yeah.
because obviously we got each other's back when we doing it. But then, later we're like, maybe we shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't have done that, or.
But am I right? You're the softie and she's the disciplinarian?
It depends on the situation. There's some instances where I am and she is on the other side. Yeah.
You remind me of my dad. That's why I say it. Like just a nice guy.
Probably.
Like,
I mean, I'd rather put him in timeout than spank him.
All right. So what is the website, by the way, Deb Green? We should mention this.
It's just letssettlethis.com.
Letssettlethis.com. All right. What are the most active bouts you have with your spouse? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Tom's in Alpharetta. Tom, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, Mark. Love the show.
Thank you, brother. What's going on?
Hey, just thinking the things that we fight most about are what she's going to throw away.
Like
throws
food
away-
stuff or
Well, no, like the Velvet Elvis poster or something. She doesn't want to keep it around anymore.
So you are a hoarder and she is not.
Yes.
I can relate to that. I can absolutely relate to that. And who usually wins those fights?
Well, she's got a tactic where I think she hides it from me, and if I don't say anything about it in a year, then I probably forgot about it, and then it disappears, and I can never find it.
Excellent. We haven't had Maya and I haven't had fights about that, but I can tell it's coming. But Deb, you've seen my office. I'm a little bit of a hoarder.
Is that why it's in your office and not your house?
All my stuff, yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't even know all the stuff that's in
He gets
my
a lot
office.
of stuff mailed over here
Yes.
just for that
Oh,
purpose.
absolutely. Viper's in Atlanta. Viper, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
How you doing, Mark?
What's up, Vipes?
The biggest things that me and my right now girlfriend are fighting about is sex and working out.
Whoa. Let's focus on working out because it's still daylight. How do you fight about working out?
I'm a beast in the gym, and she just looks hot in the gym.
Does she get mad that you call yourself a beast in the gym? Because I think if I was dating you, I'd be mad that you refer to yourself as a beast in the gym.
Well, I go there to work out and literally get bigger, and she loves to stand in front of the mirror. Herself.
All right. I wish I could chime in. You'll have to go to the website on that. I haven't been to a gym since 1993, so I have no knowledge. No, I can't settle that squabble. Longoria. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. I'm going to post the link to my eBay posting of my game-worn headphones signed by me, Scott Slade, Clark Howard, the Conservative Viking, and Eric Von Hessler. And we'll come back and take more of your calls. We're having fun on a Friday, Longo. Why the long face? On Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. Facebook, Mark Arum WSB. It's 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. 626, 81 degrees on Peachtree Street. Mark Arum fumbling around with his borrowed headphones from Deb Green, by the way. Only a 7 on the Mark Arum Show back sweat meter. Could have been a 6.5. I might adjust that before the end of the show. What adjustments do you have to make at home when you get into a fight with your significant other? What are the things that you guys argue the most about? Deb Green found a website. We're going to submit a fake argument and see what the people say. Linda joins us in Woodstock, Georgia. Linda, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, my husband and I, we can never get along when we're driving together.
Because he won't follow directions, you get on his nerves. What's the main culprit there?
No, he drives way too fast and goes in and out traffic. And
Oh, he's an aggressive driver. Oh, yeah, that's never a good thing. That's almost as bad as a really slow driver in the left lane. Like, that's
Right.
Deb Green, and then you got Longoria, who thinks he's in Cannonball Run. The worst driver I've ever seen, Andrew Longoria. Chuck threw up in his
I
car.
totally
Well, that's because he was drunk.
Shut
that had
up.
nothing to
Threw
do with
up.
my driving.
In his,
It was because he drank too
in his
much.
Swim Dad SUV, just
Stone sober.
upchucked it.
Yes.
We're going to come back with more of your calls. Hey, I tweeted out the link for the headphones for charity. Check it out on Twitter at Mark Arum. This is WSB. All right, following breaking news, you heard here first on WSB Radio, U.S. to send troops to Saudi Arabia after the earlier oil strike. We'll follow this breaking news, of course, throughout the night, the weekend, and we'll have breaking updates as soon as they become available. We're going to come right back. It's the Friday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Thoughts and prayers to Doug Turnbull, apparently caught in a hailstorm there. Have a good weekend, Doug. Have a good weekend, Mike Shields, Alex Williams, the rest of the traffic team. Traffic's going to be a bear to Athens tomorrow. Don't worry, we'll talk about that with Jay Black when we come back. Breaking news again, the U.S. troops are being sent to Saudi Arabia. This is way out of my depth talking about this, but isn't it like, I want to say this correctly. Isn't it like infidels on the soil of Saudi Arabia? Like, that's not a thing. Like, that's a big no-no in the Arab kingdom.
Sure.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I might be just getting this from a movie.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little bit.
Like, isn't it like you'll never have soil or American troops in Mecca or Saudi? I don't know. Again, I'm way out of my depth here. But luckily, we've got huge news organizations at our back. We'll update this breaking news throughout the overnight hours. Speaking of breaking news, my headphones, my signed headphones on eBay, already up over $100.
Really? That's
Yes.
cool.
Signed by, and you got to get Erickson signed them next
I
week.
will.
All right.
I will.
Signed by me, Slade, Von Hessler, Erickson, and Clark Howard. The proceeds go to the Humane Society. Ricky and Alpharetta, we got no time, brother. What's up?
Hey, real simple. It was football with a girlfriend. Sundays and Mondays were, adult beverages time, and she became very frustrated watching these games with me. The simple reason I understood was she didn't understand the game. So I sat down with her and I said, okay, would you watch and listen, as I draw the game out, you got to go 4, down.
So first, honey, they served the badminton birdie over the net, and then the other bat. Did he call his girlfriend a soup bowl in the beginning of that conversation?
I did not hear that.
I'm going to go back and listen.
Yeah,
speaking of soup bowls, Jay Black will join us next on The Mark Arum Show.
The Mark Arum Show is performed before a live studio audience.
No, I want this town to be near you. I stand
Welcome back to the show and a good Friday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. My whole family here tonight. Deborah Green produces the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Low-T Chuck screens your calls. All right, now we get down and dirty, previewing tomorrow's huge matchup in the Classic City. It's, of course, Georgia and Notre Dame. We've been talking about it pretty much all summer long, and it's finally here. Joining us in studio, prepping for the big game, WSB Radio Sports Director Jay Black. How are you, Jay Bird?
I got notes. I got nuggets. I'm ready to go.
I mean, just as like a, 24-year Georgia Bulldog fan, I'm pretty pumped about this. You were born and bred into the Georgia family, a lifelong ambition. Biggest game, playoff game that we've ever seen Georgia play in your lifetime, anyway?
I would say that's probably true. Certainly the biggest non-conference game ever played, really, at Sanford Stadium. It's the first time since 1966 that two teams in the top 10 non-conference have played in Athens. And then you have the allure of Notre Dame coming down here for the first time. It certainly meets the hype. Now we have to find out if the game will do that.
We'll get to the X's and O's in just a little bit, but I want to talk about, you've been a part of the Bulldog broadcast team for a while here, and I know you don't do much tailgating because you're actually doing work, but what's the atmosphere going to be like tomorrow with this huge matchup and the fact that it's an 8 p.m. kickoff?
Well, yeah, that will exacerbate things a little bit, that everybody's going to have all day to get ready to go. In Athens, they're kind of bracing for about 150,000 people to be in town tomorrow. The stadium holds 90,000 plus.
Yes.
So there's going to be that many more tailgaters they're expecting just hanging out. And I talked to some Notre Dame fans earlier this week, and I wasn't sure how, obviously Georgia's trip to South Bend was once in a lifetime. No Georgia fan will miss it, and they took over the stadium. So I was wondering how much Notre Dame people would be looking forward to coming to Athens, and it seems like they really are because they know that this is where football is done now the best is in the South. And Notre Dame people were great to us. Hopefully Georgia people will do the same to them, and it hopefully will be a nice, great atmosphere tomorrow.
So just as a personal note, so the tickets I have for the game are in the Notre Dame family section.
Okay.
So these are tickets from a player's family.
Okay.
And the condition was that I could buy the tickets from them, but I could not wear red and black.
Seems fair.
And they were face value tickets. I was like, I'll wear a rainbow jumpsuit, whatever. Just, I don't have to pay $9,000 to get in the game. So Notre Dame fans, at least on a personal note, very protective of their tickets. Not going to Georgia fans. They want to make sure that the Irish are well represented in the stadium.
Yeah, I don't know how they really felt when everybody looked back at it and said, man, we really let Georgia take over this place.
Yeah.
So they want to try to have a little more of a showing, but I just don't see Georgia people turning over their tickets like it was 2 years ago.
Because this is a bucket list thing for Georgia fans, of course, to have Notre Dame here. All right, let's go back to the late kickoff. I don't know what to do. Tailgating-wise, what time I should get there? Traffic-wise, what time are things going to start getting bad on 316? What do you think tomorrow?
Well, with game day being there so early, ESPN College game day, that'll help a little bit because I know a lot of people are going up early
to hold the signs and see Lee Corso.
Yes, exactly. So they'll be in place.
Yeah.
I think 316 will be fine until that last kind of golden few miles when you get into Watkinsville and Oconee County and the connector there.
The Golden Isles.
Yes, so then it's going to be kind of slammed in. I don't know if you can if you get there like 10 o'clock, probably be okay. But, once we get past noon.
10 a.m.? There's no way I'll be there.
Which is exactly what I figured you would do. So I'll be there.
All right.
But, Athens can manage it, though.
Yeah.
It's as far as college football venues go, Athens handles its traffic about as well as you can hope.
Amen. Talking to WSB Radio Sports Director Jay Black on the Mark Arum Show, previewing tomorrow's big Georgia-Notre Dame game. Kickoffs at 8. What time's our coverage start, Jay?
We'll have Dave Baker's show there starting at 9 o'clock. We'll have Belinda's show there starting at 2, and then our official tailgate show with Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler, Neil Williams, and Eric Zier starts at 4, and then we'll kick it off at 8:10.
Sources tell me there will be an additional 100,000 people going to the Classic City just to be a part of the atmosphere, not any chance of going into the game. I know parking is a concern. What can you tell the folks that might be going to the game just to tailgate? What can they do for parking situations?
Don't park on the grass except at the intramural fields because they will come and get you. They don't want people parking on the grass. There is free parking at the intramural fields, which is on the east side of campus, and they do have a lot of places over there. There's a deck you can pay to get in by the Ramsey Center. There's parking there you can pay to get in. That's going to be the challenge. It is kind of complicated to park if you don't have one of those golden passes, which are very hard to come by.
Jay Black joining us on the Mark Arum Show. So I'm probably going to get driven to the game just because, I want to have fun. I want to have a couple of adult beverages. I'm going to be tailgating with Cayetchio.
Yes.
And, he likes to throw them
Bill
back.
will throw it down.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get a ride share kind of thing going on there because I've tried to park at a big Georgia-Alabama game, Georgia-Auburn game, and on those games, parking is crazy. So I don't want to deal with that, and I certainly don't want to drive home after I've been imbibing. So I'm going to forego it. But I heard parking passes were going up to like $200 a piece.
That doesn't surprise me.
Unbelievable.
That does not surprise me.
Jay Black joining us on the Mark Arum Show. All right, let's talk about the game. On Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. Obviously, a big matchup, big name teams. Georgia, a big favorite, 2-touchdown plus favorite over the Fighting Irish. Surprised to see the number that big?
I don't think so. I've seen both of Notre Dame's games. They were kind of wobbly, and they haven't beaten a top 5 opponent in 14 years.
Yes.
So the previous history is part of the reason for that. And Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly is happy he's been laid in on thick this week in the underdog role.
No perceived weaknesses in this group. It's all true. It's all true. Very, very good defense. It's just a very balanced offense that can run it, can throw it. Great kicker, punter, have all the tools. So we'll try to muster together 22 guys, get them on a plane, go down to Athens and see what we can do.
I love that. We'll see if we can muster 22 guys and get them on a plane.
Oh, shucks. It's just old Notre Dame coming down here to Athens. We'll see what we can do. I mean, they are certainly good. The difference here to me is the depth. Georgia's got so much depth. And I don't know if Notre Dame, once you get past that starting wave, I don't know if they can quite match up there with Georgia.
To be fair, Georgia has not played an opponent as good as Notre Dame this year.
No.
I mean, this is by far, in a way, the toughest test that the Bulldogs have faced this year.
It's been Cupcake City for both sides.
Yeah.
As best as you can tell when Georgia plays the competition they've played, they look the part. That's how the number 3 team in the nation is supposed to look against the teams they've played. But you don't learn much from Vanderbilt, Murray State, and Arkansas State like you do Notre Dame.
Correct. Going inside the numbers, that's a phrase we like to use
Ding.
here. The rushing yards allowed is what stands out for me. So Georgia has allowed 60 yards rushing per game so far this year. Notre Dame has allowed 230 rushing yards a game. To me, I mean, I'm not the old ball coach. I'm not Kirby Smart. I'm not chopping wood. I'm not calling plays. But that, to me, seems like Notre Dame's weakness is stopping the run.
Notre Dame is 120th in the nation at stopping the run.
Out of 130.
There's 130 teams in the nation that try to stop the run. Kirby Smart was asked about that. He said those numbers are kind of misleading because Louisville and New Mexico do things a little different than we do. And Eric Zier said, that might be a little misleading, but they had guys out of place against Louisville. They've got a long rotation of linebackers, which really isn't what you want. If you can't find your linebackers, you're playing a lot of them. So they certainly aren't as good as Georgia is at stopping the run. If they can't slow down Georgia's 5 tailbacks, they got no shot.
Georgia and Notre Dame tomorrow here on your home of the Dogs, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Another set of numbers that jumps out at me, Jay Black. Points per game so far this year. Notre Dame is averaging 50.5 points per game. Georgia just under that, 49.3 points per game. You would think, well, this is going to be a massive shootout, but not necessarily, right?
Notre Dame certainly has plenty of weapons. When they've been hitting, it's bombs. Ian Book, when he's completing 19 yards per pass per completion, which is the best among Power 5 quarterbacks. So they've been really hitting bombs on the two teams they played, which is New Mexico and Louisville. I do think Georgia's more balanced. I think they have more talent everywhere. The two things I'm watching for when Georgia has the ball is how do the young wide receivers match up with what is a very experienced secondary for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame does have a very good pass rush. And obviously, Georgia's offensive line is fantastic, but they haven't had to deal with that yet. And Isaiah Wilson, the big right tackle's a little banged up. So those are kind of the two matchups for Georgia's side of the ball besides the running game that I'm watching for.
Again, I think the key for Georgia is obviously to just pound the ball up the middle. But is this kind of Jake Fromm's coming out party nationally? A lot of folks, He's gotten certainly exposure in SEC championship games and the big SEC games, but this is the big national stage, 8 p.m., and now the world can see Jake Fromm. But is he going to do anything tomorrow? Is he going to have to?
I think it's going to be more the DeAndre Swift coming out party than for Jake Fromm. Fromm's not supposed to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns unless the opponents just give it to him. His goal is to manage the offense. He's certainly more talented than just the quote-unquote game manager. But I think Swift, who hasn't had a lot of carries yet in the first 3 games because it hasn't been necessary, I really think it's going to be his coming out party tomorrow. But Fromm has looked great. The young wide receivers, Pickens and Blaylock, have looked great against the Cupcakes. Now let's do it against the big boys.
Yeah. Jay Black, WSB Sports Director, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. You've got an early start tomorrow. What time is your alarm going off? Are you staying in Athens tonight?
No, I'll come back tonight. I'll be in Athens for a little bit today, come back tonight, sleep in my own bed, which I like to do.
Very nice.
And then get up at 8 o'clock, get in Athens by 10, and then me and Baker will play around a little bit, get ready for the football game. We'll be inside the bookstore, so come by and see us. And then Belinda Skelton will have her show inside the bookstore from 2 to 4, and then we'll be steps away in the bookstore plaza starting at 4 o'clock for our broadcast.
That's a lot of bookstore mentions from a bookworm like Jay Black.
We appreciate that.
So your alarm's going off at 8 a.m., which might sound early on a Saturday for folks, but Jay normally gets up at what time for Atlanta's Morning News?
1:50.
1:50.
Last week for the 8 o'clock kickoff, or 8 o'clock show for Saturday, I got up at 3:30.
So you're getting up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. You won't be home until...
It might be 3 o'clock.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What are you going to do? You going to Red Bull it? What are you doing to stay awake?
There'll be enough adrenaline during that game. I won't be concerned. I might have a Coke on the way home just to make sure I get back from Athens.
Hopefully it'll be happy adrenaline.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to be.
All right. Can you hang out one more segment? Sure. All right. Jay Black breaking down the Bulldogs and the Irish. The Fighting Irish. I heard Tim Andrews doing the fantastic accent this morning. Jay Black in Athens tomorrow, bright and early, and then coming home, it'll probably be daybreak on Sunday.
Bright and late.
Yeah, exactly right. Hang tight. We'll be right back. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Coming up after Jay Black continues to break down the Bulldogs and Irish game. We got a couple of comedians coming in. Chris Distefano, very funny dude. He's at the Punchline tonight and tomorrow. Real quick, Jay, we don't have much time. Tailgating experiences. I'm going to be hopping around. I'm going to go to Sam Lambert's tailgate. I'm going to go to Cayecchio's.
Oh, okay.
You grew up in the tailgating culture of the South. What are the do's and don'ts, food-wise and beverage-wise, I need to do tomorrow?
Don't peak too early.
Okay.
You got a long day.
Yeah.
So, just take it in. You don't want to let the tailgating overwhelm you for the football game.
Sure.
So just pace yourself and enjoy it. I go more hamburger, cheeseburger than hot dog.
Okay.
Nothing against a hot dog.
Sure.
But I love a good cheeseburger
Absolutely.
at tailgate. So
pace it's a marathon, not a sprint.
If you're going to get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, you got 10 hours.
Sure.
So take your time.
Now, I've haven't been a fan at a Georgia game in a long time.
Really?
I'm a press box guy, as you know, so I'm familiar with the press box food. What are my food options in Sanford Stadium? I don't even know. What can I get there?
Well, I'm in a similar position. I don't usually get to eat in the stands very often, but they have tried to improve that. They've brought in stuff from like Papa John's and Dreamland Barbecue, and they've got a few more grab and go options now, so you don't have to wait in those long lines. You can just walk by, grab you a Coke, and grab you a pizza if you want, throw your money down and get back to the game.
So cash is still accepted at Sanford Stadium.
Unlike the other big stadium in town, they will still take your cash.
And is there beer sold in the stadium?
Not for you.
Okay,
there's places for the high rollers.
That's what I thought.
That they can't see the game, but there is a roped off section where alcohol is served, but not for the good folks like you.
My tickets are so bad for this game tomorrow that Clark Howard laughed at me. He's like, I wouldn't even sit there. That's how bad they are. So yeah, I'm the furthest from the VIP, but I'll get my fill during the tailgate.
You'll be in the house, and you'll be part of the largest crowd ever in Sanford Stadium to see a football game because they got to bring in 500 portable bleachers for the Notre Dame folks. So it'll be
exciting.
About 93,500 people there tomorrow.
Pre-game kickoff. Pre-game show starts when tomorrow, Jay Black?
4 p.m. with Jeff Dantzler, Kevin Butler, Neil Williamson, Lauren Smith, Eric Zier, and then official kickoff with Scott Howard on the play-by-play at 8 to 10 here on WSB and the WSB radio app.
Bring us home a W, Jay Bird.
Will do.
All right. News, weather, and traffic next. This is the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, this is Louis Anderson, and you're listening to the Mark Arum Show.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. Packed him in that ox so tight, I couldn't get no sleep that night. Rolling Stones, Shep and Ham, tell them about that master plan. Oh, my Lord, Lord, Lord.
Hey, welcome back. Friday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Your home of the Georgia Bulldogs, of course. Thanks to Jay Black, WSB Sports Director, breaking down the big game tomorrow in Athens. If you do not have tickets to the big Georgia Notre Dame game, I have plans for you. You head over to the Punchline, or you can do it tonight and see my next guests. They'll be on the Punchline stage. Chris Distefano and Don Dipetta, formerly known as two extras in The Sopranos. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yes.
So I'm from Connecticut, and I grew up in a mostly Italian town. And I saw your names. I was like, I'm homesick all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I want a chicken parm grinder.
You should have hit us with a cup of marinara sauce
exactly
as soon as you
right.
walked in. I can't believe I'm here at the Atlanta Punchline during the biggest game in the schedule for University of Georgia. Why am I? Yeah.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Hey, you know what, though? Go Dogs. But most people in New York are Notre Dame fans. The Irish. They got the Irish there.
But they got the Italian-Irish kind of bad blood. Most of the Italians I knew growing up in New York were like Miami Hurricane fans or Rutgers.
Sure. That makes sense.
Any program that had a lot of cocaine abuse.
Yeah.
But you should feel good about tomorrow night at the Punchline because the tickets are outrageous to this game. It's the highest priced regular season college football game ever. So,
that's a fact. Wow.
Yeah, ever. With inflation, maybe like a game in 1986 was more expensive, but in real dollars right now, it's crazy. The cheapest get-in ticket now is like $750.
And they added thousands of seats to the stadium
right.
too.
And I'm actually going to the game, and I'm usually a ticket snob.
Nice, good for you.
But I'm in the worst seat I've ever been. I'm in a 600 level seat at Sanford Stadium, which I don't even know existed.
You're going to watch ants play.
Basically. But I was like, I got to be there. I didn't know you were going to be in town, obviously.
That's the thing. How far is Athens from Atlanta?
It's like an hour and a half.
Hour and 15.
Dude, why don't we cancel the shows and just go to the game? Do you want to do
that? If you don't do that, tickets are available online at punchline.com. So Chris is from New York.
Yes.
And I did a lot of research. You're from Brooklyn, but you went to high school in Queens.
Yes.
Why?
It's pretty I went to an all-boy Catholic high school in Queens. My mom didn't want me around girls, but little did you know I love boys. Sorry. It's very common to go to a high school in another borough in New York.
You went to Malloy, is that right?
I went to Archbishop Malloy, baby. Yeah. The Stanners.
So I went to Marist College in Poughkeepsie, and there were a lot of Malloy guys.
Malloy boys.
I went to Siena in Albany.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That was a good party
Same
school.
conference, yeah.
Yeah,
that was a great party school.
Yeah.
Great party school.
I went to high school there, and it was a good time. It was a good time. I was an all-boy Catholic high school when I started freshman year, but when I was a junior, they let girls in. And all
hell broke loose.
All hell broke loose. People were like, I'm taking my kid out of the high school if there's girls around. I was like, Mom, it's because the thing is, they do it to like prevent distractions from the opposite sex. But like there was a all girls high school, Mary Lewis Academy, which was 3 train stops away. So it's like pack rats. As soon as our school let out, we would just run and just wait to sniff the girls coming out of Mary Lewis.
So there was a guy I was friends with. I'm a bit older than you. I'm just going to roll past that. I'm a bit older than you, but my buddy Tommy Barbero played baseball at Malloy, and in the city championship, they played it at Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
Wow. And he had a home run at Yankee Stadium.
Like a legit home run over the...
Wow. And it was metal bats.
Yeah.
A legit...
Still.
And so he's like 45 now, successful ad exec. If you ask him the greatest moment of his life, not the birth of his daughter, not getting married, it was hitting a bomb at the old Yankee Stadium.
I can't blame him. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I feel like... I think they still, to this day, play that championship game at Yankee Stadium.
So amazing.
Still.
I don't want to neglect. This is a homecoming of sorts for you, Don, because you are from Kennesaw.
Originally. I am originally, yeah, Kennesaw, Georgia, home of the firearms.
A local kid made good. How did you become a comedian out of Kennesaw? That's a rarity.
Yeah, I moved to L.A. And started to pursue acting. And when I was out there in L.A., first couple of years when you're trying to get your foot in the door, I just started writing. Got up on stage, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice. This is fun."
So, did you know growing up in Kennesaw that this is what I want to be?
No,
eventually?
no. I played baseball. I played at Kennesaw Mountain, which is like a baseball powerhouse.
Sure, absolutely.
Georgia's a baseball powerhouse down here, and I played minor league baseball for a couple of years. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And then when that ended, wasn't my choice.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I moved out to L.A. and started doing the acting thing, and then stared doing the stand-up.
I played at Marist.
Yeah, I played at Siena for 2 years.
That's crazy. Same conference.
I was so cold. So cold.
Exactly. I was doing well until I figured out, or I was told, that you need to maintain a certain GPA to stay on the team.
Yeah.
I thought that was secondary.
So you were a Red Fox?
A Red Fox, exactly. My man, good job.
Yeah.
How did you, I mean, all kids that are from Brooklyn and Queens have that sense of humor, that biting sense of humor, but how did you realize, like, oh, I can make this into a living?
I would say, so I used to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
And then, like, 2 years into being a physical therapist, I was like, I was doing comedy in the morning. I was doing physical therapy in the morning and comedy at night for years. And then just a day came where I was like, you know what? I want to do this full time. Yeah. I got on this show on MTV called Guy Code. Guy Code and Girl Code. They were really popular amongst high school and college kids. So I was actually a pediatric physical therapist, and one of the other male physical therapists, because most physical therapists are women, but there was another guy and he just hated me in the school. So he told the principal of the school that I had cut out of work to go on the radio to like promote a comedy show. So she came in and she was like, you can't do that, like blah, 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 blah. And then people started to recognize me. The parents of the kids that I was treating started to recognize me from the Guy Code show because they were relatively young. Wow. And the principal was like, listen, you can't do physical therapy and then also be on a show where you're talking about like the Guy Code to hiding your boner. You can't do that. So they were like, she was like, you're gonna have to choose. And then I just chose comedy, but I still, talk to some of the families of the kids that I worked with, and it's all good. But yeah.
So I got to ask, so physical therapy, like that's a profession. That's a real job where you have to have training and schooling and education. Your family, when you decide to drop the physical therapy, the real career, and do, acting and comedy, what was your family's reaction to that?
Well, at first they were, especially like my mom, was very much like, I can't believe that you're doing this. Like, you're an idiot, just like your father, like stuff like that, but then when I started to, then I got on David Letterman's show. The other guest was John Travolta. Obviously my mom was my +1, so she met John Travolta. And then and now it's like, it's just crazy, like in life, like physical therapy. It was a great, gratifying job, but it's like
that's a tough gig.
I could make in like a month doing comedy what I would make in a year doing physical therapy, because you just don't get paid to do physical therapy. At least in New York, it's like I came out $120,000 in debt with a doctorate degree and had like this entry-level BS position. It's like this isn't right.
Yeah.
So I think we have to pay our healthcare providers a lot more money.
I agree. Chris Distefano and Don Dipetta in studio on the Mark Arum Show. They will be on the Punchline stage tonight. Tickets available online at punchline.com. And tickets tomorrow, again, if you're not going to the Georgia-Notre Dame game, they will make you laugh.
Yeah, you should come.
We should. Let's buy tickets and scalp them before the show. Do you want to scalp a little bit outside? Whatever. We'll buy some at $750.
Now,
we'll sell for $2K.
You guys would sound like scalpers, as like tickets here.
Yeah. Let's scalp them, and then we'll get back. We'll get back down to the show.
We'll go down. We'll tailgate.
Yeah.
Get a little,
buzz.
Little buzz on.
And scalp them.
Yeah.
Boom.
But you guys can relate to this, I think, because growing up in Connecticut, I didn't have a favorite college football team. My first college football game ever, I didn't go to any at Marist, was a Georgia game down here.
Wow.
I was blown away by it. I was like,
it's a different world.
God, it is crazy.
Yeah, in the Northeast, nobody even like college sports is not a thing. It's like, when the Giants are playing or the Jets or, the Knicks or whatever. But even hearing down here, the college football game, I'm like, oh, is that a big deal?
You want to go see Stony Brook Fairfield?
What? No. The Seawolves?
Yeah, there's no tailgating there.
Yeah.
Real quick, Chris. So the doctorate and the background. When you're on the road, and I'm not looking at you, Don, and casting aspersions, but do you have other comedians with aches and pains? Be like, Doc, can you check out my shoulder?
Yes, but the truth is I was specifically a pediatric physical therapist and also haven't practiced physical therapy since 2013. So I'll definitely take a peek.
Yeah.
But I could make it worse. I just let them know. It's like, listen, I'll take a peek. I'll try to remember and then apply this to if your bones were so much smaller because I was used to treating children. So I'll and to be honest, let's be honest, most comedians, they hear I have a doctor's degree and it's not aches and pains. They're like, hey, look at my genitalia. Tell me what that is because
chlamydia.
Great, yeah.
It's dripping.
He gives a great glute massage. I won't lie about that. He does.
I actually do.
Tell the folks where you can find you on social media, online, all that good stuff.
For me, you could find Chris Distefano at Chris D Comedy on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, me now. It's DonDipetta.com is my website. Don_Dipetta on Twitter, and this is just bad marketing, but Donnie Tsunami 7 on Instagram.
Very
good luck spelling tsunami.
Donnie Tsunami. Excellent. Gentlemen, great to meet you guys.
You too.
Have fun this weekend. Maybe I'll sneak down there for the late show tonight.
Yeah,
come on, why not?
I'll pregame for tomorrow.
A good time. Yes.
Pregame, like it.
All right. Well, if you're not lucky enough to have a ticket to the big Georgia Notre Dame game this weekend, don't worry. There's a lot of stuff going around in and around the city of Atlanta. Joining us from Accessatl, a longtime friend of the show, Brittany Tannenbaum. Happy Friday, Britt.
Happy Friday. We have made it.
We have made it. You're going out of town. I'm going to the Georgia game, but folks that are in town and don't have tickets to Athens, what can we do this weekend?
Yes, so we got a lot going on, including the Sippin' Safari. Have you ever been to this event at Zoo Atlanta?
No.
Yeah, so basically it's kind of just all kinds of different wines, live music. They're going to have food from all kinds of local restaurants, and of course some wildlife viewing. So while you're sipping your Chardonnay, you can look at some zebras and flamingos and gorillas.
I've heard amazing things about it.
Yes, it's pretty cool. Tickets are going to be $65 for members if you belong to Zoo Atlanta, and then $70 for non-members. So that should be a fun time. If you don't want to go to the zoo and hang with gorillas, you can go to the Kirkwood Wine Stroll in historic Kirkwood.
Ooh.
They are
Are we calling Kirkwood historic now?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
that's
just checking.
I think that's what the kids are calling it these days.
Okay, fair enough.
So they basically just have 40 different locations that are going to pour out samples of red and white wines.
Beautiful.
And then a few live stages of live music.
Nice.
Exactly. Tickets are $50 for that. And then we also have the Imagine Music Festival. If you're interested in that.
Who's playing there? I've never heard of that.
I'm not really sure. I think it's
just Google it.
It's over at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yes, Google can tell you who. Oh, Diplo and Marshmello. Those are the two biggest ones that I've heard of. So
Diplo and Marshmello.
Yes, if you want to get your are they part of like EDM? Would you call that?
You're
emo?
asking the wrong dude. You're asking
Why? I thought you'd be on your EDM and emo.
No. I missed the boat on EDM. By the way, that's electronic dance music for folks that don't know.
Oh, see, you're spitting out like all of the lingo.
I can translate some stuff.
Yeah,
I just don't know a lot of stuff.
And then for anyone that has kids, the Pumpkin Festival is going on over at Stone Mountain Park through November 3rd.
You know, I have never in my life carved a good pumpkin. Okay, my pumpkins look like crap.
This might be your year.
You think so?
What would you carve if you're?
I can't do anything. Like
I'm afraid I would just like slip my hand or something would just go wrong.
Well, that's always a worry. But I always try to just do a simple, scary face. I just suck at it. I have no artistic ability when it comes to gourds.
Maybe we should get a pumpkin carver
on the show.
Professional to come in and maybe teach us both.
Use your Access Atlanta connections and hook that up.
Absolutely. Are you excited for UGA Notre Dame?
I'm very excited.
Everyone upstairs, Van Earl is, just typing away. And
I'll be there embarrassing myself. I'm sad you're not going to be there, but I'm also happy that all of this stuff is available online at WSBTV.com.
Correct.
Follow Access Atlanta on the social medias.
Accessatl, the social medias, at Britt Elise for me. And if you want to watch Access Atlanta on demand, you can always catch us on WSB Now live streaming on Roku. I think I called it Roku last time. Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire Stick.
And EDM.
Yes. Electronic dance music.
Thanks, Britt. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
Hang tight. We'll be right back. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome back. Final segment of the Mark Arum Show. Big thanks to comedians Don Dipetta, Chris Distefano, and, of course, Brittany Tannenbaum from Access Atlanta. I'll be at the Georgia game. Any big plans this weekend, Deborah Green?
Imagine Festival.
Oh, with Jared Yamamoto. Have fun, you two.
Nice.
Low T Chuck, what are you doing this weekend, buddy?
We're kid-free, so I think we're actually going to go to Six Flags because they start the Halloween fright thing.
You're going to Six Flags without your kid.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why I love you, buddy. Longo.
Nothing. Just getting ready for a trip next week.
You're going to Chandler.
I'm not going anywhere right now because of the girls are listening. They don't know.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to miss you next week, wherever your destination is.
Wherever we go.
What's that place that Michael Scott went to with Jan? The all-inclusive nude beach kind of thing. Have fun there. All right. Let's do star of the show.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum star of the show?
You know what? Let's throw Jay Black a bone. Let's give Jay.
All right.
He's going to be working tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. So, Jay Black, you get started the show. We'll continue the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, Facebook Mark Arum WSB. In the meantime, go to sleep, little baby.
Go to sleep, you little baby. Guests of the Mark Arum Show stay at the All Suite Omni Hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile.